Well, forget the old traditional saying because diamonds are my best friend at the moment. It's made a big change to our Airbus save in recent games, but can we back it up today in a crucial relegation six-pointer? Yes, hello and welcome along to part 4 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We've got a massive game today to start off against Pontypridd. That is in the battle for relegation in the Welsh Premier Division. Airbus UK just keeping their heads above the water at the moment. And as we said in our introduction, diamonds have been key to that. We'll have a look at why in a moment, and then we'll also face Newtown in a slightly different test on paper. So if you're looking forward to all of that, please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM23 content. We had the latest episode of our Builder Nation earlier today, and a bit later on this evening at 7 PM, we've got a little fun special episode that we recorded just before the beta release, so do make sure you check that out. But thank you as always for your great support as we come back in a very tricky situation, because realistically looking at the league, bar the top 3 anyone can go down still. Cardiff Met Uni are thankfully giving us a little bit of a buffer to bottom place, but we could really do with someone else dropping off as well. At the moment though, we're doing our job as well as we can, and we've got a crucial return from injury that has made a big impact to our form and to the formation we use. I do think there's another contributing factor to this that we'll talk about in a minute, but after the last episode, things were all looking up. We played Cardiff Met Uni the game after that brilliant win against Carnarvon on camera, armed with all of the new signings from transfer deadline day that the director of football brought into the club. And we beat Cardiff Met Uni by 5-2. Jake Eyre finally popped up with goals, and not just one, he got a hat-trick. Craig Curran and Gareth Edwards added to that. But then he started to go wrong again. We didn't know at the time that Cardiff Met Uni were terrible. They weren't bottom of the league back then. And of course, as a result, our form immediately suffered. We drew 1-1 away at today's opponents Pontypridd, a late equaliser from Kerry Davis in that one. Then 4 back-to-back defeats with a rotated side against Bala in the Cup. The League Cup, that is, in Wales. We didn't have a kick in that game, and to be honest, Dutton, the backup keeper, was probably man of the match. A 3-0 defeat at home to Newtown, the second opponent we're playing today, and they were reliant on 2 brilliant wingers. Zeli Ismail, who's played a lot of his career in England, often a go-to as a free agent in a non-league save, and Nigel Harris off the left, who scored 2 absolute screamers. It's annoying because we weren't that bad in that game, but there's some times where you just have to hold your hand up and say you probably couldn't do anything about it. He was having his own goal in a month competition, and we backed it up with yet another defeat. A 2-1 deficit at Aberystwyth, a 94th minute winner conceded after Craig Curran had got us back on level terms. Then a 3-1 defeat at home to Bala. Craig Curran got one back, but late on again, a third goal went in to shore the defeat. And Bala are very good in this save, don't be fooled by that. They were top at the time, but have dropped off this month. A 3-0 win helped ease the blows against Barrytown United in the second round of the Welsh Cup. The second tier side, they didn't have a kick. And look who scored the goals. Adam Davis is back. And that's why we wanted him back. He is so important to this team. A 3-0 win, 3 goals, and the difference maker between the two sides. We did then stop the rot in the league as well. A 1-1 draw at home to Pennybont. A late equaliser from the penalty spot by Craig Curran. And then a 2-0 win away at Flint Town last time out. Curran with both. Adam Davies winning a penalty and with an assist. I mean, the boys made a big difference. But also making a big difference is 2.5 games with the Diamond. It got the 3 goals against Barry. It got the goal against Pennybont and the 2 against Flint Town. So we'll go and talk about the tactic before we get into the first game. But very quickly, our director of football has gone mad on staff. We've got loads of them coming in. I don't know where from because we didn't have big vacancies and we didn't have a big budget. But he seems to be getting lots of people into the club. So let's go and meet all the new boys. Then we'll get into our 2 games. So here we go. 4 additions to the team since you were last with me. And I'm hoping some of them are going to help. A head of youth development is important, of course, for youth intakes, for the development of young players, of which there are now a lot after deadline day. Reece Bishop is that man. And he's not great, but at this level he's not terrible either. 13 for working with youngsters, 4 and 5 for judgment of ability and potential. I'm sure there are worse people in that role across this league, so I'm not too disappointed with him. Paul Evans is a physio who's not a very good physio, but the head physio is brilliant, so let's not be too worried. And then 2 more scouts, which although they're not very good, should help in terms of speeding up recruitment. Of course, we had to wait till deadline day for virtually everything this year, so let's just hope Director of Football is a little bit more organised with a bit more of a team. 3 for judging ability and potential for Mike Massey, and for Ethan Parry, it's 2 and 4. So certainly not the highest level scouts you're going to see, but definitely worth having in the club, just for numbers more than anything. So with that expanded team, we go and look at our team on the pitch, and with it, a brand new tactic. It's something we've been training in the background, but we finally got the chance to use it now Davis is back, and he is going to be crucial today as we play at home to Pontypridd. So let me go and pick our lineup, we'll find our best 11, and then we'll come and talk through it, as well as the new tactic. So here it is, and don't we look a bit more threatening with Davis up front and Curran in behind? There is another issue alongside it though. Bar that game in which he got the hat-trick, Jake Eyre has been diabolical in every single game. I'm looking at Kerry Davis, who's been scoring goals. It hasn't happened yet because he's just come back from injury, but I'm thinking as a natural left footer as well, maybe 2 or 3 games down the line, he's probably going to come in. So it might end up being the Davis duo up front. That's going to cause a bit of fun, especially when we've got the Lynch duo in our Builder Nation as well. But the team is strong. We've made 1 adjustment at the back to accommodate our formation. That is the centre-half change. Gareth Edwards, the 39-year-old, drops out. Wakona, the young centre-half, comes in. And that's just because I've got the fullbacks on support duties. I've got both centre midfielders on support duties. And we haven't got protecting wingers. So what that means, essentially, is we're going to have more situations where we're either 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 at the back. And for that, we need pace. We've got the quality of Thomason. We've got the discipline of Crowther, but we needed a bit of pace. So Wakona gets the edge. You can see his last 2 performances up there looking much better than recent ones before it. So the 11 in full for today is Borges in goal, who's having a good season. He deserves a lot of credit. Phillips and Owen are the fullbacks with Wakona and Thomason as centre-half. Crowther, Edwards, Grinnell and Curran the midfield diamond. Grinnell drop into a deep lying role. He's not playing great, but the kid's 16. We've got to give him a little bit of leeway. And then Adam Davis, hat-trick in the cup, not yet scored in the league, but playing well. And then Jake Eyre, on borrowed time alongside him, will Kerry Davis end up being the saviour. Lots of quality on the bench. A quick shout out to the unluckiest man in the team. Jenkins on the right wing had been playing really well, but I can't accommodate him. The team has to come first. So let's get through to the first game today. This is a must not lose, and if we can win it, for the first time this season, we might have some daylight from the bottom 2. And here are the teams. 2 changes for Pontypridd, some good names from Welsh football in this side. Luke Cummins on the bench, Ashley Morris in goal. They seem to have nicked a fair bit of Barry's team from their relegation last season in real life, so I wonder if that's part of the reason they're struggling in game. I'd imagine those players were rated quite poorly if they got relegated in real life. So let's see how they get on today. 2 changes for them, unchanged for us because of course we won last time out. Now let's see if Curran, Davis and Eyre can finally shock some defences. Into the first half we go, bumper crowd of 160. What joys are they going to watch here? As we've got a throw on the left-hand side from Thomason. Not a very good one at all. And it's led to a counter-attack. Where's the defence? This is not what we've got set up. I'm going to have to look at it in a minute. Blazed over the bar. Tactics being ignored. Back in a moment when I've seen what's happening with our throw-ins. Right, tactical tweaks made. And now we've got a corner ourselves. The delivery's not great. Though Grinnell gets it back in the mixer. And hits the bar at the second time of asking. A really good effort. A decent start. But still no shot on target and no set pieces. They've got to reach the back post and Davis. He's 6'5". He's got more than one asset in his game and we need to start taking advantage. As here comes a free kick for Pontypridd. Most of them have gone in this year's game and that one's not far away either. Great save by Borges, but let's be honest, these free kicks are getting silly. As Twamley puts in the corner, is he going to be able to find the delivery? We've got lots of men back. It's a good header away from Crowther. He's 6 foot, he can't jump. But if he's unmarked, he's going to be pretty handy. Half an hour gone. It's goalless. It's cagey. There's not been that many chances. And it looks like at half time, it might well be goalless. And that doesn't really help either side. So in the 1 minute of added on time, they've got a throw in on the left. It's delivered into Owen. And Owen Jones has scored. Bailey Owen beaten in the air. And on the stroke of half time, that is a disaster. 1-0 down. We've been pretty poor, to be honest. The worst by a mile we've looked with the diamond. So let's just tell the lads we're disappointed. We need a response. But there's a few too many nerves in there. Jake Eyre again, the joint worst player on the pitch. Thomason having a poor one too. You can't really legislate for that. So we're going straight from the kickoff in the second half as Davis plays it back to Curran and Thomason. Time in possession. Finds Phillips the right back. Long ball forward towards Eyre. Not really part of the tactic, but it might yet work as Curran knocks it down. Oh, it's an awful tackle. Absolutely awful tackle from Clayton Green. He's sent off. We're going positive. And now we've got to make something of this. We have got to find a way through. We might have to tweak the tactic because they've still left two up front. But fingers crossed it gives us a chance. As the header away is poor. We look a little bit edgy today. Normally we've stepped up in front of the cameras, but we've been a bit shy in this one. Davis wins it back, but can't keep possession. Knott comes down the left, and they still look pretty comfortable with 10. Ball into Williams, who scores. The flag goes up. I would have been livid if that had been conceded. 1-0 it stays to Pontypridd, and there is not much to inspire us at the minute. I'm not waiting any longer. We've got to 57 minutes, and nothing's happening. Jake Eyre will come off for Davis, and that might become a permanent change. Mike Owen on for Crowther in the holding role. Little bit more youth and exuberance in the team. I mean, Wacoma's been awful. I might bring on Edwards. I might well do it because we're getting beaten in the air. So he's going to come on there. And then what other changes have we got? We've got a centre mid. We've got a winger. And we've got a left back and right back. And at the moment, that's not our weaknesses. So those three changes will be made. We'll see if they make a difference. We'll go attacking before too long. And we've got a free kick. Miles out with Curran. Tries to shoot. I mean, it's close to the target, closer than it should have been. But it is getting silly that they're shooting from everywhere. And now it's a corner for Pontypridd. This has been our worst performance in the diamond by a mile. And now we've conceded a free header from a corner. We've got 3 players there to specifically mark their threats. And it just hasn't happened against 10 men. This has been a shocker. I don't know if they're more up for it than us. But in the diamond, we've not looked this bad all season. As Edwards gets the ball at the back, we've gone attacking. We need a big push here. Owen over the top. It's overhit. I mean, what are the strikers supposed to do with that? Again, I was getting so excited the last couple of games. We changed shape. We started to look exciting again. We started to look a threat. We looked fairly solid as well. But that has gone out the window today. Defensively, we've been diabolical. And the goalkeeper has got time on the ball for them. We're not pressing. We have got prevent short goalkeeper distribution on. We've also got a bit of defensive work to do because look at the state of that. Goalkeeper hoofs it over the top. I mean, it's been disallowed. We're very lucky. I don't know what's happened to Thomason today. He might be our best player on paper, but he has been abysmal. Every single ball over the top has looked threatening. And for now, I don't even know what last 2 changes to make. And do they even make an impact for us? I'm going to berate the lads. This is the worst I've seen for ages. There is a lot of work to do here. Back to the drawing board. Back to set pieces work on the training ground. And hopefully back to winning ways. Because this is about to be 3. These free kicks from the angle very often go in. Family takes it. 30 yards out. Or maybe just under because the wall's in the box. And there it is. Top corner. Average players scoring every other free kick continues. It's 3-0 in the 89th minute. And we deserve nothing from this game. I'm going to give Davis a couple of minutes rest up front because there's no point risking him now. And then Owen at left back, exactly the same. Owen Payne is on for him. And we're back yet again in the 90th minute. I think what we've seen, even against 10 men today, as Adam Davis goes through his last action of the game, blazes over the bar. But what we've seen is, even against poorer opposition with 10 men, we cannot afford to go more than balanced. We're just not good enough. If we're left 2-on-2 on the counter, we're poor. And that might be the worst of the season. Let's skip ahead, trying to raise it from our memories and get a better result away at Newtown. Time for the Airbus team to show a little bit of fighting spirit against Newtown, who have dropped to 6th after a defeat themselves. But now Aberystwyth level on points with us. Pontypridd have got 2 above us. And we could end this weekend in the relegation zone. Or in fact, have Aberystwyth lost already? They have. So all we've got to do is avoid defeat by more than 1 goal and we'll stay out on goals scored. But otherwise, I think we could be in trouble. There is some news during the week. A new youth staff member came in. The director of football got in Paul Hilton, who's not very good. £9 a week, what a strange wage. And then going further down during the week, there was some new contract news as well. Adam Davis, just back from injury, but rewarded with a 2-year deal. The director of football obviously impressed with his impact since coming back. Let's hope he can live up to it, and it's given him a little bit of vigour to try and produce his best football this weekend. Through the tactical meeting we go, some changes being recommended. We'll be back in a minute once we've decided to run through our 11 and hopefully get some sort of response. Right, I've made a couple of big bold decisions with youngsters coming into the team. They are of course Kerry Davis up front, who replaces Jake Eyre. I've just had enough of him. And then Mike Owen, who comes in for Crowther. A more experienced player, Crowther, but not playing that well. And Owen, he's alright, he's developing a little bit. He's 5'9", he's got enough physicality, so fingers crossed that will work out for us. For today though, that means our 11 sees 2 changes, and hopefully it sees more than 2 goals difference to the last game, because a 3-0 defeat against Pontypridd was not good enough, particularly given they had 10 men for most of the second half. So let's go and submit the team, go away from home, and see if this tactic works any better. As again, the wing duo is going to be the problem for us for Newtown. Nigel Harris and Zelly Ishmael, big threats. Aaron Williams, a good striker as well. They've got a good team. Ryan Sears at right back is a good player. Shane Sutton's not bad. Half of that side is of a very good level. Nick Rushton is one of 2 strikers on the bench alongside Lewis Robles. But Rushton is someone our director of football tried to sign. One of many at a club that rejected us this year. So let's go and get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads we've got nothing to lose. Get yourselves excited. And they're not. Mike Owen is nervous. I'm going to try and chat to him personally. Just say, I've got faith in you. And he's done nothing. What a start. I guess one of the positives we can take so far with 15 gone is that there haven't been any highlights yet. However, according to the stats, Newtown have had tons of chances. And it might be one of those games we have to go for a smash and grab. As Harris gets down the left-hand side, big switch of play. Sears has got space. Maybe not the ideal tactic against overlapping fullbacks. But at the moment, we're holding on. That shot goes over the bar. And it stays 0-0. But it's another corner for Newtown. They are rampant here. To the back post. Sutton hits the bar. The rebound's in. Oh, we do so much of our training on set pieces. And we're so bad from them. I don't understand it at all. It's 1-0 to Newtown. There's 20 minutes gone. And I mean, look at the stats. It doesn't seem to matter which of the tactics we play. We're either brilliant or appalling. And we've let in another goal from a cross. I mean, that one's from open play. You can't legislate for it. To do 75% of your training sessions on that exact thing and still be conceding all of your goals from it is ridiculous. Where the attacking threat's gone, I don't know. And I've brought the passing range down so we deliberately don't just hoof it over the top. And all I keep watching is that. The team cohesion's not bad. Bailey Owen. I mean, you're going to be next one out. 6'5" Adam Davis not winning the header. But here's a chance on the counter for Kerry Davis. Can he get the ball in? There's 2 in the middle. Cuts it back. Adam Davis is up. And heads wide of the post unmarked. Oh, this is going to be a tricky season. I was finally getting excited because we won 2 games. But I think it's going to be short-lived, isn't it? As Bailey Owen clears long downfield. Maybe is it because I've taken Gareth Edwards out of the defence? But I don't know that that's going to make much of a difference. Kerry Davis doing well here. Challenged on the byline. It's back to Bailey Owen. Finds Granell. To Owen again. 3 in the middle if he can cross. One of them's Davis. He's up with a header. Bit closer this time. Hits the post. It still stays 2-0 though. We're finally showing a threat. But it's not enough. And now we've got another corner, which is a scare tactic. Are you serious? He's completely unmarked. We've put so much into them. And it is costing us dearly. We are back to being terrible again. So I think the pattern of the season is 2 good games for every 5 bad ones. As Kerry Davis is in. Can we get a consolation in the first half? Of course not. The shot straight at the keeper. Sutton wins it back. And it's cleared away. It's going to stay 3. That was appalling. And I mean, the only difference is set pieces and crosses. If we could defend them, it'd probably be 0-0. But we've been terrible. They deserve to be shouted at. And at half-time, I'm going to make some changes. I don't know what. We'll take Wakoma off because he's on a yellow for Edwards. I'll bring on Blackwell at right back for Phillips, the youngster, get him some experience. Granell in the middle has been awful. Owen's not been good either. We'll go Munro for Granell. and we'll leave the rest another 15 minutes. But the set pieces are a big concern for us. Do you know what? I might just go back to the FM default and see what happens, because it can't go any worse, can it? As Thomason heads the ball up to Munro, flies a foot at it from nowhere near it. No wonder he didn't win the challenge. And Harris comes down the left-hand side. Can anyone sense my bubbling frustration at this? As Roberts gives the ball to Wood. I mean, I wouldn't mind if we hadn't worked on it, but to spend all of your time training it and this to happen is so infuriating. As Zeli Ismail crosses, it means danger. Oh, come on. He's jumped at thin air. Thomason's gone charging out to right back. Absolutely charging when there's no need for it. And he then left his centre forward in the middle. It's 4-0, it's embarrassment, and it's been one of the worst performances I've watched in FM23. They've handed the ball again from across. It's a terrible ball in. And we're not providing the same level of service as the long ball's headed away from Thomason. Nice to know we can win a header. As Davis down the left, Curran's free. Into him, he scores. We got a goal. Something we can celebrate at last. It will be a mere consolation. It's been a shocking performance. Let's bring on Crowfoot for Mike Owen. Let's take off Owen for Payne because he's at threat of losing discipline. The attackers are doing okay. So let's bring him off and see if we can instigate a comeback. As they've got the ball on the right, I think the more likely thing is an onslaught from the home team as Williams in, another straight ball over the top. I don't know what to do about it. We've got the defence dropping deeper. It's not working. They're still getting in behind. We're headed away a corner. Gareth Edwards has 1-1. I've got to get him in the team. And we need a bigger team, but that's up to the director of football. As Curran brings the ball away down the right. Can we finally show a goal threat here? Curran carries it downfield to Davis. Holds up for Blackwell, the sub right back. He's actually done okay. Finds a good through ball to Davis, who's in 1-on-1. There's another goal. Quarter of the game to go. It's 4-2. Davis has scored a league goal, which is important. And Blackwell has looked good off the bench. As Curran's got a free kick. I might get excited here. Into Edwards. Oh, over the bar. Oh, it's a penalty. It's a penalty for handball. I didn't know a Newtown player even touched it. Ishmael's penalised. I'm sure they didn't touch the ball. As Curran's penalty is into the corner. Forget all of my complaints. It's 4-3. The diamond does work. 4-3. We've got a chance at a point. Who would have thought this 20 minutes ago? We were 4-0 down. We were out of the game. And now we've got a genuine chance at a point. We've got to keep this man quiet though, Harris. He's just running rings round us. It's so bad as Williams can't win it. Edwards does really well in the box. He's up again. Wins the header. He's making a big difference in there. Good clearance as far as Munro to Crowther. Long downfield towards Kerry Davis. Curran's running off him. Instead he goes back. Munro on halfway. Over to Adam Davis. You've got to give him more than that. That isn't service. Wood clears it long downfield. Harris will pick it up. This man is ridiculous. I mean, he's such a good player at this level. As Roberts goes over the top. Aaron Williams in. And Edwards brings him down. Why did I bother praising him? Why did I praise him? Because as soon as we do, he gives away a stupid penalty. Caught in behind again. And Zeli Ismail makes it 5-3 to Newtown. Oh, this is proper lower standard football, isn't it? 5-3. A terrible defensive display from both. 5 minutes to go. We are going to lose. At least there's been some spirit. There's been some fight. At least we've scored some goals. But we've got to look at the negatives here. How can you defend set pieces that badly? And how on earth can you be that poor over the top? But as we get through the dressing room, we're back in relegation contention. We are 11th in the league. We're back where we were last episode. And there are problems afoot for Airbus UK. And there we go, back into relegation contention. But we have got a cup game up next. So I'm wondering if we trial the back five there. Let me know what you think. If we have a look at the schedule, I know when we're going to be back. I know there's some relegation clashes along the way that might be big, but we've got to show TNS, haven't we? The biggest team in the league, the only professional side in the league, and we've got them back to back as our most local side over the Christmas and New Year period. 6 games between now and then, possibly another cup one if we get through too. So if you're looking forward to it and you did enjoy my pain this episode, 8 goals conceded in 2 games, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Subscribe to stay up to date with the series. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:30 with our Build a Nation from Distillery. This one will be back at 3:30 tomorrow as well. But above my head now is our Build a Nation save. If you haven't tried it yet, do give it a go. And I'll see you back here, same time tomorrow, for more pain with Airbus UK.